official attorney of the Hangover Morning Show, Mike Carter. From Digiplo.com and $45bucks.com. Call them 24/7 at 314-895-4040.
Yes. It is the Hangover Morning Show. That is our official attorney.
He's got his own damn intro over there.
Sounded big, didn't it? Michael Dean Carter. I don't know if that's his middle name. I just kind of made that up.
Sounds like that. Michael E. Carter.
Michael E. Carter.
And
Edward.
the E stands for Edward.
Stands for...
Among Us penis.
Oh, that's not what it stands for.
No, I changed that.
I changed that.
A long
too
time ago.
awkward.
What do you need to axe? Free legal advice from the best, we think the best in the St. Louis area, and especially out here in St. Charles County, Lincoln County, Warren County, all the Westplex counties, because Mike has so much experience. He's been a judge. He's about to be a judge once again. What made you want to go back to that?
Well, when I left there, I wasn't necessarily ready to leave, and so
they escorted you out with security.
I had different things going on.
I had a couple jobs. I wasn't ready to leave.
I had a couple things going on. I just didn't choose to pursue it. But I coming back pretty strong again this time with the mayor and the state representative's support and things. I don't. You can't presume anything, but it looks solid.
Did you get a chance to watch the State of the Union last night?
No, and I feel like a bad citizen regardless of what everybody's saying about it. But my son had the 5th grade science fair project. We've been working on it since 2 weeks ago. And tomorrow it's due tomorrow. I even wrote to the teacher. I'm like, are you guys sure that you're keeping it on the 21st? And she said, yes, we are, Mr. Carter. And so we stayed up. I got done with it about 1. He did contribute quite a bit, but he had to go to bed.
So stay home and make that volcano work. Is that what you guys made?
Right. Well, we did unpopped corn kernels left in the top 4 grocery store brand microwave popcorn. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you pop it according to the instructions.
Yeah.
Deerberg, Schnucks, Walgreens, and Shop and Save. And Shop and Save wins hands down. Now, we didn't do a taste test, but Shop and Save has about 30 unpopped kernels. Deerberg's has about 130.
I wish you'd
Did you do Orville? What is the...
Just store brands.
Just store brands, okay.
Walgreens,
Orville.
Shop and Save,
So we
Deerberg,
can
and Schnucks.
We can report that here today?
Well, my wife, I thought about doing a press release, and my wife said, well, we're not scientists or anything, but I bet Deerberg's wouldn't want it out there that theirs leaves about 3 times or 4 times as many kernels as any of the competitors.
Probably not a problem.
Probably not. Once that scandal gets out there, it's going to blow this thing wide
And
open.
And Schnucks unpopped kernels, if you care, are much plumper and bigger. The seed thing,
Half pop things.
or no, the leftover one that didn't pop.
Yeah.
You can just tell it's like they're about a half time bigger than all their competitor kernels, which maybe means fluffier popcorn when they do pop. I don't know.
I think it could mean that. That's exactly what it could mean.
You don't care at all.
No.
I had to deal with this.
Listen,
My son
you're
is
kidding me.
fifth
At
grade.
my house, that is an important stat. I'm telling you right now.
Yes.
Linda is all over popcorn. And I cannot stand those little kernels at the bottom that break your teeth.
Well, it's supposed to be efficiency, right? If you got 1,000 kernels, you'd like 980 of them to pop, or something. So we can cook them according to the directions.
You're blinding us with science today.
Thomas Dolby.
I got to ask you, who came up with the idea? Like, Dad, we got to do this science fair project.
Here it is.
I've got this great idea for popcorn.
You're supposed to give your kid a chance to fail, they say, right? So I just kept putting it on him. What are you doing? What are you doing? We were going to do basketball shots from the waist, chest, and over the head.
Right.
They said
it's not a drink, Stacey.
No
Stacey
human
thought that
involved.
was a drink. Basketball shots.
Hey.
No human involvement, they said. So he went and looked, and he found a popcorn one, and he kind of made it up on his own, and we went with it. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is good.
My son did his on which meteorologist was most accurate over a 30-day period.
Yeah, that's probably harder and longer. Yeah.
Well, let's hope it was
everybody's forecast.
Dave Murray.
Dave Murray did win. Yes, he did.
I hope so. He's our official
He sponsors
meteorologist.
the experiment, no doubt.
I want somebody to do a Starbucks versus McDonald's coffee
Oh,
taste
no
test.
comparison. Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
You can
like doing
blindfold me and
It's like
I would
doing
know.
a bottle rocket
really?
versus NASA.
Yes. People who drink coffee know their coffee.
It's pretty hard to quantify taste,
I
too.
drink coffee. Mike says it's hard to quantify, and he's a lawyer. He would know these things.
Not in this case. Not in this case.
Well, why not?
It's hands down.
No, it's not.
Eric goes to Starbucks every day for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
That's because he's from Seattle.
So if
Blessed
I was
Seattle,
if I was to go before Mike Carter, if he was a
Seattle.
judge, I could go on there as an expert
You could.
on the subject.
Unbiased, no doubt.
And he would have to listen to what I had to say.
no, he wouldn't.
About coffee, he would. Yes, he would. Ask him.
Well, St. Louis evidently does not like Starbucks that much. They shut down about 10 or 12
that
stores
right?
over the past 5 years.
You know,
One at
it's about time.
Elm 370,
It's
the one
about
out in
time.
Hazelwood on Outer Shell.
That's right.
Several of them. But
That's
the
right.
McDonald's, they're all standing strong.
Yeah, well, this town doesn't know good food.
I was very happy
Period.
to see in the grocery store the other day that they're now selling just next to the Starbucks and the Dunkin' Donuts coffee. They're now selling McCafe coffee right there in the bag. You know, you can get your bag of it. Is there anything better than that smell? That fresh coffee smell. I like to just stand there in the aisle and squeeze
You
the
should
bag.
sing that Folger song. Best spot away. Waking up or whatever it is.
I'm sorry. What was that? Our first caller said what exactly?
You kiss my ass.
Okay, whatever. Thank you for that. We are going to take some calls at 636-695-2915. That's the phone number. The Mike Carter Law Firm of the Carter Law Offices, Did You Blow and 45bucks.com. Bigger than ever.
Bigger is not better.
Wait, that's not true
No.
necessarily. Tell them why that's better when you're bigger. I think it's an interesting
There's
point.
a science project for you guys. That's a,
I mean,
When
if they
you're
ask the
bigger,
that question.
receiver, what
You
what
got
are you
more
referring to?
resources as
Right,
a law
yes.
firm. There's more stuff that you can do. There's more at your disposal when it comes to like if I come to you because I got pulled over. Stacy got pulled over the other day.
2 days ago, I got a 60 and a 40.
What is wrong with
I
you?
got a failure to register yesterday. Bigger is
You got pulled over.
yeah. If you got a
way.
caseload that's bigger, it's good because you're exposed to more nuances of different cases. There's no doubt about
How
that.
big's
And the
your
way that you-
caseload?
right?
It's a
so you
pickup
got pulled
line.
over yesterday?
Yeah, I got. It was a new guy because like 3 cops all pulled in behind him, and they had 3 people behind him watching. He was about 19.
Did you tell him I'll have your badge for this?
No,
I will have your badge.
Do you know who I am?
He said,
Terrific.
"Did you
I'm
know
gonna-
your license plates are expired?" I was like, no.
Shut up.
Right. That's what I told him. That's when the other 3 showed up.
I don't want to hear it. So he ticketed you, gave you the full ticket for that.
Yeah,
deal.
he said you've got a film over your license plate too that we are going to cut you a break on. It cuts down the
A
luminosity
film?
or something.
What kind of a film?
It's a.
What does that mean? A film?
I don't know. It kind of came on it. It's like a little
Like a
bit
plastic,
Yeah,
you know,
and I guess it's got a
darkening
tint
device.
to
Yeah.
it. Right.
Okay.
You can see it clear as day, but he said it eliminates the reflective quality of the plate.
That's because isn't there something about going through those cameras that you can spray something on those license plates?
Yeah, like white spray paint.
No, not white spray paint.
Just cover it up.
To block it out.
Can't see it.
No,
That's right. Nobody
there,
will get
there
my
used
plate
to be
then.
a spray that you could put on your license plates that the cameras couldn't.
Yes,
The
I've heard about
flash
that.
is overly reflective or something.
heard about
right,
that.
right.
My buddy Fish from Fish and the Freak Show, he hates those red light cameras. He gets angry when we're driving and he sees that thing go off in his peripheral vision. And so now, and it's very scary when you're riding with him because now when we get to one of those red light cameras,
I know what
he will like literally get all the way down on the floor. You can see hands up on the
Some people
wheel.
were wearing
Hands up.
bandanas and stuff, through them or ducking down or, that could pull
I
their head
smile.
down.
I was going to flash the camera the next time, so that's my plan.
Did you hear? If you haven't heard, you have to hear. Speaking of cops, we're talking about cops. You got pulled over. Mike Carter got pulled over. Racy Stacy got pulled over. I love this.
Sir? A black guy walked into the police station. Well, a black guy walked into the police station. Yeah, wait, Mitchell, listen to this one. Start over. What's the setup? There's this black guy walked into the police station. Oh, yeah, I think I've heard it, but go ahead. No, really, a black guy walked into yeah. We said who free? No, a black guy literally walked into the police station. Oh, it's a new one. Look out! It's a black guy. Choke him. Shoot him. Shoot him and then choke him. He's here to kill us. Run.
Shoot him and then choke him. That's so good.
The official attorney of the Hangover Morning Show.
That's it.
Mike Carter from DWI.com and 45bucks.com. Call them 24/7 at 314-895-4040.
Dean is the first call. Then we got some text messages I want to get to as well at 805-76-VIPER, 805-768-4737. What do you want to ask? What's going on in your life legally you could use some advice on? Hey, Dean.
Yes, sir.
Dean.
Yes, sir. Hey, thanks for letting me call in, guys. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
What city are you calling from, Dean?
I am in Florissant.
Okay, go ahead. You're on with Mike Carter.
Well, Mike, excuse me, my daughter, she just turned 21, but she's got a couple of DWIs. She had one, the first one she got when she was a minor. And the stuff is still showing up on CaseNet. And so, now she's done with college and she's trying to find jobs. And those are, of course, those are showing up when she applies for jobs, and it's kind of hindering her. Is there anything that can be done to get those off of her record?
That's a good question. Can you get stuff off? I just saw a story on this yesterday here locally, that now some employers are immediately putting your name into CaseNet when you apply, and rather than doing these other checks that they do, they're just running you on CaseNet.
Right.
Is there a way to get stuff off of there?
We had the appellate court judges have been in a couple seminars over the past couple of years, and there's a pretty decent voice of outcry from the legal community anyway that CaseNet may have gone too far. I mean, we're supposed to have open records. You used to have to go to the courthouse to check something out, and you could, if you had that type of time, you go and check it out. But now CaseNet is making those readily available, and there's a balancing that's someone's trying to figure out right now. But they err to the side of revealing all. But if you allow me to get off the topic slightly, but on it a little bit, is when you get a DWI, a lot of times there's also a civil companion case, especially if you refuse. You have to file against the DOR saying that they didn't have the right to take your license. Well, even if the underlying criminal DWI goes away sometimes, that civil one, even if you win it, the case remains there, and people can put two and two together, and they say, oh, there's no DWI on file, but we see that he must have had an alcohol contact. And so you can ask the court to seal that. They don't always say yes, but it is the difference between an attorney who's worried about clearing up your future as opposed to just moving through the case and getting your money. So,
and even the minor thing sounds interesting. Like if you were a minor when you got this charge, that seems fair. That maybe it
right. And having said that, there are a couple situations where if you lose your license and you're under the age of 18. Once you reach the age of majority, it's supposed to drop off. You can get a hold of the DOR. That's just the license, though. Depending on what your daughter had on her underlying criminal violations, if she had probation for 2 years, if she pled guilty outright, we would have to research and figure out exactly what the disposition of each of her criminal cases was in order to figure out if there's any way to get it off. Because if they're just straight convictions or probations that were violated, you got to have pretty much an action of the governor to get those things removed.
Really? The governor has to get involved.
It'll be like a pardon.
Dang.
Even if it is a misdemeanor.
So otherwise, that stuff on CaseNet can stay there forever.
Right. If you're found innocent of a trial or something, that usually gets rid of the whole file.
Really?
Yeah, if you're on probation, the entire time that you're on probation, you can see it, but once it's closed, usually it disappears. If it's an SIS, suspended imposition of sentence, if it's an SES and you're just not going to jail, but it actually still is a conviction, it's going to remain on there forever.
Damn.
But yeah, back from roughly 88, I think. 88, 92, everything going back is there.
Wow.
I got sued by this crazy woman, and I beat her. I went to court and testified.
Well,
and
that's an assault charge.
Right.
That's something totally different.
You beat her for suing him. It was afterward.
The only person that's ever sued me for assault was J.C. Corcoran. And
because he
lost.
whooped your ass?
No.
You guys weren't even
he
near
sued
each other.
me for assault.
Oh, you got sued for assault.
Right.
I would totally think that he would kick your ass.
He's short, isn't he?
You don't know me or him
Because
very
he's
well.
a crazy little bitch. He is.
You're a crazy little bitch. That doesn't mean you're going to win a fight.
That's right.
I don't even know what I was saying because you've distracted
Got sued by this lady. You beat her.
I beat her in court. I went and took the stand, and the judge ruled at the end of it this woman had no case, and it's still on there. I looked it up probably
Civil
about a year
case.
ago. Civil case, yeah.
Right, and there's possible you could move to seal it.
If I won, shouldn't it be tossed out?
There you go.
Well,
Maybe not.
She sued you originally?
She was suing me originally, yes.
Right.
And then I went to court, did my side of it, and the judge ruled in my favor. And it says, on there, it says, it explains that, but I just figured it would be taken off at some point.
Right. On
Guess
criminal,
not.
if you're found innocent, they do close it.
So
on a jury trial or a judge trial.
So you're still on CaseNet because of that thing?
Yeah, that case is still there.
That's a great
and it's
question.
like 10 years old.
That's such a great question. Can you call somebody and say, get this thing off here, man? This is...
You'd have to
Can you call somebody?
You'd have to move the court to seal it, I think.
Wow.
Even on a civil case, it's that old. It's still kind of a big deal to get it removed.
Right, and I would say that those are disputes between citizens are less sensitive than criminal records. So even more so, it'll remain on there until you take some type of action.
Our text line blowing up at 805-76 Viper. We'll get to a question, then a break, then more of your calls and questions. Should we take the phone call first? We'll take the phoner, then we'll take a break, come back, get some of these texts in at 805-76 Viper. Hello, you're on with Mike Carter, 314-895-4040. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, man? It's Chris Dankerson this morning. Listen, Mike, I got some good stuff for you, dude.
Good.
First off, dude, I got 12 felonies on my record, man.
All right.
How do you
That's
get
pretty
that
impressive.
removed?
That's impressive, actually.
Nicely done.
Yeah, that sounds like an issue to overcome, but it's impossible.
How are you not in the clink?
How much? Well, good lawyers, man. But yeah, I lost 3 years of my life. That's how I'm not playing.
So you did go to prison for 3 years?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
12 felonies?
Well, more than that, but they quit reading after 12.
Damn. What was
be drugs.
What was the worst one?
Commercial burglary.
Commercial burglary instead of like private burglary. What's the difference?
Like business, like after hours business burglary instead of like armed robbery.
So you live in Ferguson?
Not too far away, but yeah.
Were you using a weapon? Is that the deal?
No, I wasn't using a weapon or nothing, man. I was just I was homeless, man, and I started breaking in businesses at night to supplement
How do you get
income.
in?
Smash a window.
Smash and grab?
Is that what you did?
Man.
Pick the lock? What?
How'd you get in?
How do you get in?
Sears sells a beautiful pry bar for about $15.
Oh, wow.
That'll get you into anything.
Wow. Pry it open. Wow.
But that was one thing. But here's another thing, man. I see a lot of things on Facebook. A lot of people posting these videos that are like, I don't answer questions when they get pulled over by police. Is that legal to do?
I mean, it's legal to do it. It might get you in trouble. The couple I've seen, local activist Ken Suter, who actually defended successfully in a case against trespassing at that GOP caucus a couple years ago, he does that and makes a camera, recording of it, and that kind of helps too because they're less likely to beat the snot out of you. But
thank God.
You have to give them your name. You have to give them an ID. The Supreme Court has ruled on that. Yes, you got to identify yourself if you're pulled over. So
I thought that was a state-by-state thing.
No, the Supremes have said because they would say, I invoke my right to remain silent. Well, you still have to identify yourself and that kind of thing.
Very pro-cop, but I don't get that one. If I'm walking down the street, not bothering a soul, and they have no probable cause or whatever term they need, and they come up, why do I have to say who I am or give them? I'm not doing anything.
I'm pretty sure that the Supreme Court was in the context of a pulled over car. But even if you're at the park, if you're congregating around and there's a dead body 5 feet from you or somebody beaten down on the ground and the cop or the police person can articulate some suspicion or suspicious activity, they then have got, the ability to question you. Now, you, in theory, could walk away and until they try to arrest you or get you under the color of authority. You should be able to kind of ignore them. But if they've got some articulable reason to be engaging with you, then you've gotten to that level where they can ask you who you are.
That's the thing, though. If there's not, if I'm just right out here in the parking lot and there's no dead bodies, there's nothing going on, and they pull up, I have to still
They might have, presumably, they would have been responding to a call, there's some people messing around in our parking lot, and I got a brand new car with scratches on it yesterday, and you happen to be the guy standing out there.
Basically, they can come up with anything they want to come up with.
Right, but usually you find out, through deposition, and, if you've got unlimited resources, unfortunately, you usually make your way through those types of issues when you get into depositions and testimony and that.
But I guess legally, to answer your question, What is the answer to his question?
I don't think he really had a question. He was just saying,
It's like, should I
one,
stop?
I got a bunch of felonies. Can I get rid of them? No. Two, can I say I don't answer questions? And that's, at your own risk, you can try to attempt to do it. I would suggest having a camera when you try to implement it.
What about that? What about this controversy? I've seen stuff on this, too, that you can't video an officer, which makes no sense to me.
There's no problem with that in Missouri and in most reasonable states. In Illinois, they had their non-recording statutes overturned by their own Supreme Court, saying if it's out in the public domain, you got no reasonable expectation of privacy.
That's silly.
Record all you want. But then the Illinois Assembly got back together and passed a new law that has some caveats that does prohibit you from presumably recording an officer during his duties, but I don't think that's ever going to hold up. The problem is, it takes you 10 or 20 grand to prove that they're wrong. You're going through the appellate process and all that. It'd scare enough people at the lower level where to work for a while,
And I just asked the cop to pose for a selfie with me so I could put it on Facebook, and he's like, I cannot be whatever.
I cannot be
documented that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Well, he might not like the way it looks or whatever.
Diva.
I don't do my hair. My badge isn't polished. What's wrong?
Because this guy was like 4'7", and I was like, I got to get a picture with this little dwarf.
No.
Yeah.
That's probably exactly why I didn't want to, then.
What department did he work with?
Wildwood, St. Louis County.
Wildwood, okay. Well, kudos. Shout out to the dwarf officer over there in Wildwood.
Love ya. Thanks for the ticket.
We love you.
Creep.
Back with some more text messages and phone calls. Somebody on the text line a very, very tricky question about state law versus federal law. We'll figure out that in just a second. And then some other, what is this about Mike Carter and Schnooks? Okay, hang on a second. We'll get to it. And more of your calls at 636-695-2915.
The Hangover Morning Show with Chris, DC, Eric, Racy, Stacy, and Baba Boy. Powered by DWI.com and 45bucks.com.
With a Sam's Club membership, you get incredible savings every time you shop. For a limited time, Sam's Club members get a savings book with more than $3,000 in extra savings. Get prepped for a party with popular game time favorites that will please any size crowd, like Tyson Buffalo Wings, Pepsi, Hefty Supreme Paper Plates, and DiGiorno's Pizza. Go to samsclub.com to check out the full selection of instant savings offers. Join and save. Sam's Club. Life is better when you're in the club. See club for details.
It's the police, it's the police. Uh-oh, just dial 895-4040. It's the police, it's the police. Uh-oh, go to 45bucks.com. Traffic, law, counselors, yeah. Just call 895-4040. Traffic, law, counselors, yeah. Go to 45bucks.com. $45 for a routine stop, yeah. Go to 45bucks.com. Traffic, law, 895-4040, yeah.
Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Traffic law counselors is where we go when the police hassle us. Go to 45bucks.com or just call 895-4040. $45 for a routine stop. Go to 45bucks.com or just call 895-4040. Go to 45bucks.com. Traffic law 895-4040. Traffic law counselors is where we go when the police hassle us.
The winter season means rough weather, and sometimes rough weather means an accident. Let F&S Collision in Troy handle your auto body repairs, where it's guaranteed to look like the accident never happened. From cars to trucks, they can take care of your hail damage, paintless dent repairs, glass repair and replacement, detailing, and more. If you're stuck on the side of the road this winter, F&S Collision offers towing services too. F&S Collision, your one-stop auto body shop, and more. Call to schedule your free estimate. 636-462-3704 or visit fnscollision.com.
Image Auto Sales is a Carfax Advantage dealer that sells high-quality pre-owned vehicles. Credit union finance rates start as low as 2.24%. No money down for those who qualify. Have credit problems? Relax. With your down payment and income approval, Image Auto Sales will have you driving today. Mention this ad and save $200 off extended warranty or apply it towards your down payment plus free gap insurance. Image Auto Sales on Veterans Memorial Parkway east of the Cave Springs exit. 636-724-6100. That's 636-724-6100. Image Auto Sales is a proud sponsor of 100.7 The Vipers Still Text and Drive campaign.
This is Tammy Crouch with Community State Bank of Missouri. As you might know, home loan rates are at record lows. Now this is the excellent time to buy a home, refinance your current home, or make those needed home improvements. Community State Bank of Missouri has a perfect loan to meet your needs. Our long-term fixed rates will keep your payments low. Stop by and see Matt Arnold today to check out our great home loan rates.
We're big enough to serve you, small enough to keep you. Community State Bank.
Member FDIC.
Your Hair Care Graveyard, a reminder of all those products not guaranteed by stylists. That's why the John Frieda Hair Care experts back their new products with a stylist guarantee. Love them or they're free. Try new innovations like luxurious volume 7-day volume, an in-shower treatment that amplifies hair's thickness with nothing to lose. The stylist guarantee only from John Frieda Hair Care. Offer expires 3/31 up to
Possessing
9/99.
perhaps the fastest strike of any snake.
100.7 The Viper.
I went to a party last Saturday night. I didn't get laid. I got in a fight. It ain't no big thing. Late for my job and the traffic was bad. Had to borrow $10 from my old man. It ain't no big thing. I went to a party last Saturday night. I told you that story, it'd be alright. It ain't no big thing, but I know what I like.
Chris and DC on 100.7 The Viper.
Talking law. Got a question for you guys. First of all, Mike Carter, our official Hangover Morning Show attorney in the house.
Now, the official attorney of the Hangover Morning Show, Mike Carter, from DWI.com and 45bucks.com. Call them 24/7 at 314-895-4040.
That's the number. 314-895-4040.
So awesome, man.
Let me ask you, Eric Johnson, you, Mike Carter, a question. First of all, prison, very scary for anybody, right?
Right, no doubt.
Can you imagine going to prison for 39 years, wrongly accused? You didn't do it.
No.
Evidence is found that then you're freed. 39 years of your life wasted in prison. And then you come face to face with the individual who lied and knew they were lying to put you away.
Right.
Could you forgive them?
Yeah, it'd be tough. My dad's always said that if you, run around and keep track of everything that everybody wronged you with, you'll have a big gunny sack of weight of guilt and crap on your back, and you just can't live. So you're a lot better off to, don't forget what they did necessarily. You can't act dumb going forward, but you can't just sit around dwelling on it. But that's easier said than done when you just got out of 39 years, as you put it.
39 years.
What about those guys that got let out on death row? Ever seen those stories, like on Discovery Channel? They get convicted and then they get sentenced
the
to
DNA,
death.
like the Innocence Project
right.
and all that.
And then all of a sudden, 15 years later, they're out of jail.
That's kind of what this story is. It involved someone who lied under oath because there was pressure from a police officer.
Oh,
and they lied under oath. They knew they were lying, and they put this guy away for 40 years.
Holy mackerel!
Could you forgive that person when you come face to face with him? Well, this guy that's in the news today, Ricky Jackson is his name. He did. He forgave the liar who put him in prison for 39 years.
Finally. Come here, man. Forgive the man who put him behind bars. It took a lot of courage to do what you did, man. Thank you, man. It's all right, brother.
It's all right.
We were both victims, man. It's all right, okay? I do forgive you, man. I wanted to be here personally to tell you that.
Wow.
So,
wow.
You have to know the whole backstory to something like that.
Well, like I told you, the key, that's why he says we're both victims here. The key is that an overzealous officer put pressure on this only eyewitness. It involved a shooting, someone that was killed, I believe, in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And they said, that's the guy, isn't it? Point him out. That's the guy. Well, I'm not sure. No, you're sure.
Oh.
That's the guy. Yeah, I'm not really sure. No, you're sure, damn it. He's like, okay, I guess I'm sure. And so he testified, put as the eyewitness. The jury said, well, he's the eyewitness. He saw it. He saw him shoot him. So, an eyewitness testimony. People say, oh, well, eyewitness testimony is so crucial, but isn't it true, Mike Carter? Eyewitness testimony is way overrated.
Everything we're taught, yes, through law school and even trial training seminars and things, is, they put you through these little miniature tests of things that you thought you saw an hour earlier, and then I think it's, it works well in court, no doubt. But, there's a lot of science out there that shows that we're pretty poor at recollecting what we saw.
Well, and I saw a deal on this when that whole Mike Brown thing happened. I thought it was very interesting because not only are we poor at maybe coming back with exactly what we saw, this was very interesting to me. They did this study, and they really, got into this and found that out of like 500 cases, it was a pretty large sample, a lot of people based their testimony on how they wanted it to turn out, their agenda. They really, even people seemingly that don't say they don't have an agenda, well, how you were raised and your views politically and all that stuff, it does play into it.
Right, yeah, no doubt.
So, you might have seen the Mike Brown shooting, and because of how you were raised, you immediately think, well, the police are always bad. They're always... So you look at it and say, no, that cop, right? And then somebody else looks at it and says, no, the cop was completely innocent. It was the big, mean black man that came charging at him. It's really how you're raised and what thought process you have.
That's right.
It's interesting. Not as easy as it used to be, where you just say, well, we got some eyewitnesses, so
right.
That's the end of that case.
So the bench that you're going to be sitting on,
is it nice?
No, you
got a nice cushion.
It's pretty low key, and it's not that high off the ground or anything.
Thank God.
Well, I know that sucks. You got to be up there looking down, don't you? I mean, that's kind of how it usually is.
Yeah, I think they do that. I always call it Johnny Carson style. Supposedly his seat was always higher than his guests and stuff. But
right.
I don't know. It just depends on what you want in your courtroom. I was in court in Boone County yesterday. I won't mention the judge's name, but holy cats, the dude was... I don't know. The girl got up to the microphone and he's like, we can't hear you, miss. Get closer to the microphone. And she kind of moved closer. We still can't hear you. Are you okay to talk? And she's like, yeah. And then she had a little attitude. She's like, yeah, is this better or something? He's like, get down off the stand. And he said, we'll take this up. I mean, he just railed her up and down in front of everybody. What's the purpose? I mean, the judge, yeah, you got to be in control, but you don't. It's the citizen's courtroom, and you're innocent before guilty. I mean, because you want to show your heart on crime or what, I don't know, but I don't. My view is that everybody gets a fair shake, and if fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, kind of thing. But
see, I hate
depends
that.
on your approach.
I hate that when people with the certain areas. Oh God, I want to name names, but I guess I won't name names.
No, go ahead.
Oh,
you're not running for anything.
It's what bothered me about. I know my girlfriend went to high school with this guy, and she thinks he's so cute. The assistant prosecutor over in St. Charles County.
Oh, yeah. Here we go again.
No, he's the prosecutor.
Oh, is he?
No, he's not the assistant.
Okay.
Yeah, what is
his name? What's his name?
Timothy Lomar.
Timothy.
I think they call him Tim.
He just got promoted. He is now the.
Well, he ran and won.
See there? Tim Lomar.
And everybody, I think, agrees that he's pretty...
he is a good-looking guy.
Handsome fella.
Yeah. This guy is good.
I've never heard the opposite said.
This is the Tom Brady of prosecutors.
He's so cute.
I think he played baseball. He's athletic. He's not just
sick.
Not just handsome in the face. I think he's handsome in ability and all that.
Gross.
Whatever, dude.
He's handsome in the pocketbook, too.
Is he?
Yeah,
I don't know.
He really is.
Well, how do you know?
Yeah, well, Wikipedia said that...
Oh,
he's
amazing.
amazing.
Said, well, if they said it, then it's got to be true. But the deal with the Cottleville Sheriff's Department that had that policy, rather than just looking to prosecute DWIs, they were trying to get people home.
Right.
Actually had officers driving drunk people home after, which to me, way more important to save some mother of 3 from dying in a drunk driving accident than to get that arrest.
It's like being Mayberry. Remember Mayberry, where you'd have the little deputy and he would come in, well, geez, Barn, can't I have more than one bullet? You only gave him one bullet. Remember that?
Yeah, but I don't know what that has to do with what I'm talking about.
It's just it's trying to be a feel-good community. They're trying to use the local law enforcement as, instead of being the big bad sheriff, it's like, hey, we're all family here. Let me give you a ride home.
Well, exactly. And again, what's more important? Getting the numbers on that arrest deal where you can say we had 648 DWI arrests.
Right, yeah.
Is that the important thing, or is the important thing saving a life?
Yeah, I mean, they both think that they're saving lives. The one, the more hard you are on the violators, potentially is better for the community maybe. And Tim Lomar, he came out, he's a prosecutor. There's nothing that, even if he doesn't believe it, which I'm guessing he does, he can say no other thing than we need people to pay the price for what they're doing. It's not necessarily the case that we need to.
Well, see, there you go, right there. It's that he has to say things a certain way, and that bothers me, because I think you should be able to say, you should be honest about it and say, you know what, not something maybe every department does, but hey, their numbers, some of their research is showing, they've been doing it for 4 years, that maybe some lives have been saved, and that's the most important thing.
But is he saying that money is the most important thing?
No, he was saying, I don't care what it's doing. I don't want to hear about what good it's doing. We need to do nothing but arrest. Prosecute.
Yeah, I don't know if he said that exactly.
No,
but
he said
I know
that.
he
Actually,
disagreed with
close.
the policy to some extent.
Yeah, Wikipedia said that's exactly what he said.
No, his exact quote was, I don't believe any department should be giving rides. We're not a taxi cab service for criminals and for lawbreakers. We should be prosecuting them, not giving them rides home. That was his quote. It was exactly that. So,
well, a lot of officers, they, writing the report. I mean, you're taking 3 hours out of their night, and DWI is not fun for a lot of officers to do, and
so basically it's like get in the back seat, I'll take you home. I mean, do they get pulled over, or do they arrive at the club or the bar or whatever it is, and this guy's drunk, get him home? Is it what?
Well, you've also got the political tension, I think, too, is Cottleville. I like it. I live very, very close to it. But they have, 16 restaurants in less than 2 blocks.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Not 16, but a lot of them. And most all of them serve alcohol. So you got people calling the mayor, you're pulling over all of my patrons who leave at 12 o'clock. So nobody's going to come back and hang around here. So it may be that there's some political sensitivity to, helping somebody home as opposed to driving business down for every establishment there within the Cottleville city limits. No one's ever told me that, but that's just a guess.
Is that where that brewery is? I've heard great things about it. I still want to get over there. Exit 6, I think it's called. Is that in Cottleville?
I didn't know there was a brewery, but it's down in. It's right close to Cottleville if it's not in it. And you can only buy like cans of beer there.
Well, I've heard that their beer is amazing because they have that. They're the ones that got in the fight with Starbucks over the Frappuccino beer.
Yeah, right.
It's a coffee beer mixed with their, I'm told, most famous, the one that's their biggest seller is the vanilla cream stout.
Keep preaching, brother.
And they make their own Blue Moon. This to me sounds really good. It's their own blend of Blue Moon, which is my favorite beer, with blood oranges in it.
I know what you're talking about.
But they don't. They have no like Jack Daniels or anything. I think they can only sell beer there.
Just beer.
Yeah, I used to think it was cans, but I think it's just beer.
So is Cottleville?
I think it's in Cottleville.
Is that little community over there? Is it known for a lot of DWI kind of stuff, or a lot of?
At one time, 4 years ago, they wrote DWIs, yet they didn't have a DWI ordinance. Is what the folklore is. They tidied that up, and I think they do. On average, with regard to their percentage of the population and stuff, they do, a decent number, but they're not a trap.
That's
or anything.
a cool little community, man. I mean, wasn't the mayor like trying to legalize pot or something like that a few years ago?
No, I think he wanted a referendum passed that his community
so
encouraged.
He could smoke it in the office.
No, he just wanted to encourage the state legislature to take action. I don't think they passed any ordinance that was friendly to it necessarily.
It's like a little slice of Oregon right in our backyard.
His wife had cancer. She may have went to heaven, but she used it to medicate and help her through some of her most difficult times, as I understand it. And he became more familiar with it and understanding about it.
Wow.
Yeah,
hey, it's
cool.
Weird Wednesday. Mike Carter, our guest. You're on the Viper. Good morning.
How are we doing this morning?
Pretty good. What's up?
I got a question for you. I got a DWI, probably about 10 years ago, and at that time I was in SATOC class. They told us that St. Charles is number 1 in the state of Missouri. Is that true?
Number 1 for arrest for DWI?
Correct.
Yeah. It's an interesting question. 1, I don't know the answer to, but 2, there's 114 counties, 114 counties in Missouri, and we're actually engaged in an experiment with the entire state over the next 3 months to find out exactly the answer to your question. So presumably in March or April, I'll know exactly if that's true for the first quarter of April of 2015.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, and I hate to, again, I know Tim Lomar, good guy, attractive, all of that important stuff, doing the right thing. However, follow the money trail. Anytime you've got a question, I believe in life, always follow the money trail.
So St. Charles is not known for making money off DWI. I can tell. I know.
Really?
No, they don't.
That was a great question. Then what so they don't make any money off of that stuff?
I always follow that money trail.
Some of their recoupment costs for the time of the arrest and that they get some money back if you settle it out and you do probation or something. You can get a fine for companion tickets, but those go back to the state. And state court is very different than municipal court. I mean, they're not in the business of creating revenue. I mean, they may discuss it once in a while, but it's not the feel of any aspect of court at the state or federal level that they're trying to gain money.
I wanted to ask that fella how much his DWI cost because, you're saying St. Charles County doesn't really make a lot of money off of them. They must make a lot of money off their other stuff because anytime I've ever had an issue, traffic ticket, whatever, there seems to be just so much attached to it fine-wise. You got to fine for this, got to fine for that. You got to fine for walking down to the clerk's office to pay it. It's called the walking to the clerk's office fine.
Right. It's definitely not cheap. But it's supposed to be primarily aimed at behavior modification or, keeping you out of jail instead. Give you 2 days in jail or a $500 fine, that kind of thing.
Didn't modify my behavior. Some text messages from the 314. Obviously, Stacy, you can't be doing 60 in a 40 and then cry about it. Can't do it.
Sure you can.
I can.
Absolutely. 40 is a stupid speed limit.
Especially on Clarkson.
Yeah.
You were driving on Clarkson. I was up with traffic. I was just keeping up with traffic. Why it put me over, I don't know.
But didn't you say you got a 60?
60 and a 40, yeah.
60 and a 40. Hey, Stacy, do you remember the guy we had on, that Alex dude that wrote the book about how to get out of a traffic ticket every time?
I do.
And did he not say that there's a little-known law, and I wonder what Mike Carter would say about this, that all the statutes going to all 50 states, when it comes to what speeding laws and traffic laws are written on, it's based on endangering other people. And that there's a part of the law that says if you're not endangering someone, then you're not breaking the law. Someone else, not yourself, someone else. So he always argued like he would get pulled over either late at night or early in the morning where there's nobody on the road. Well, who am I endangering?
Yep.
At that hour. There's nobody else on the highway. If I'm doing 70... I'm risking myself, but that's me. I'm allowed to risk myself.
No, you're not. Because what about helmet laws? Helmet laws are the same thing, right?
I can't risk I can't be, if I want to be stupid and...
No.
Got to wear one here in Missouri.
What about,
have you ever heard anything in regard to that?
The speed limit thing?
Yeah, endangering
presumably they started, for just that reason, but they now have been codified, by legislators and
codified. That's our word of the day.
Codified. Yeah, if it turned into a law that says you can or can't do them, and they're not usually all that in tune with the time of night or day, and like Cynthia Davis here locally wanted to pass a law that if you're on a motorcycle and the weight scale doesn't register your motorcycle and the red light is red for over 5 minutes, you can politely run through the red light.
Politely.
But
politely
refuse. That's where I got it from, I'm sure. Anyway, she tried to pass a law. It didn't go through because there's too much discretion, I guess, on the part of the motorcyclist. But there are some certain rules, like when you come into certain cities, they have to have the speed limits posted at the border and all these kinds of things. But we get those kind of fellas and women that come to court and argue, till they're blue in the face, some of these kind of antiquated arguments. And sometimes you just say, all right, whatever, go away. But at the end of the day, you have to have somebody who's willing to listen and hear to all that. And
whatever.
And mostly you don't get much traction with the guy you had on, in my experience.
Yes. Okay, also from the 314, I agree with DC. Dollar for dollar, McDonald's is going to win that coffee battle. Okay, Stacy?
Dollar for dollar. Okay.
Dollar for dollar. Somebody else in the 314 says, bottom line, we are being policed, Mike Carter. Can you save a police state? Says this 314 texter.
Right, and you hear more and more of that, compared to, all of our counterparts throughout the earth anyway. I don't think we're necessarily in danger of that right now. Even Eric Holder, just recently, it could have been a public relations thing. He just withdrew all of the 30 states, I think, that were cooperating with him. It might have been the 50 states who had a federal aspect to their drug pursuits for felonies and that, where they could secure, in the preponderance of the evidence, take $1 million of your money or $600,000 and hardly have any ramifications. They got a good portion of the money. They kicked back 20% to the feds, and it was getting out of control, talking about police state. And Eric Holder, who a lot of people think is, uber liberal and all these kinds of things, actually with kind of a Republican bent, says, no, we're not going to allow that anymore. Get back to your own state laws and figure out how you want to take people's money without due process. So I think, at any given time, the three branches of government, in my opinion, not that you asked about this specifically, they do a decent job of counterbalancing each other. The Supreme Court says things that the legislative body doesn't want. The president tries to do things that the Supreme Court doesn't want. And I'm not fully satisfied at any given minute with all the things that are going on governmentally, but police state at this minute, I just think is hype.
A little overblown, in your opinion.
And, and we go through ups and downs. The Ferguson thing happens, and we have to go through some pains and things with that and get back to a normalcy. And I think here in St. Louis specifically, we've got a lot going on, and people are hypersensitive to it. And several of our council members just lately are talking about they think there's a spike in crime across the whole metro area, but really the FBI says crime's been going down for decade after decade.
This is not overhyped. 314 says F. J.C. Corcoran. Thank you. That's not overhyped at all.
Isn't that his first initial?
Yes, F. J.C. Corcoran. Frank
opinion.
Yeah. 314 also says, this is 8568, Forestdale is top of the list on policing. They are worse than Curryville is, and Curryville is real bad.
Well, and they've really reined themselves in lately. Forestdale is not what they were 2 years ago.
It's about time.
Their courthouse was a trailer.
Right, but now they
there's nothing wrong with that.
I know, but the judge pulled up in a Mercedes, and the courthouse was in a trailer, barely held 20 people.
A trailer.
I understand, and right on. At least you own it, or did you rent the trailer?
It's a double wide.
Anyway, I just
think it's like having two homes.
Right. Well,
I could stack them on top of each other too.
Right. Well, like them having a double wide trailer means they're not collecting that much money. And
I get it's true.
Mm-hmm. Okay, also from the text line, the 314, that question I was telling you about with the state law. This person says, I really need to know, Mike Carter, how does a state law say something is legal? Federal says it's illegal, and how is that enforced?
There we go.
Federal law in general, one of the first 10 things you learn in law school is federal law wins. It's the supreme law of the land.
Wait a minute.
And so if the state court says, like in California happened several times, you're not going to be prosecuted for any marijuana things, the feds come in and...
Wow.
In fact, another thing called double jeopardy doesn't even attach. So you're found innocent completely by a jury in the state of California, and the feds don't like it. They come in and try for the exact same nexus of crimes under the federal laws, and you're found guilty.
And Mike Carter, our lawyer, officially here at The Hangover, 314-895-4040 to reach him off the text line from the 636. Hey, guys, they tested every known commercially available product to hide your license plate from cameras on that Mythbusters show, and none of them worked, including the spray. Just FYI.
The one I saw that does work, if you want to check them out, is the computer screen privacy thing that you put on your computer so your friends next to you in your work environment can't see your stuff. You put that on your license plate, and then anything above a certain angle can't see it coming down, and the cameras are usually presumably up in the sky.
That's an awesome idea.
Stacy tried putting whiteout on the screen, and it caused her some issues.
Right, because she couldn't see it either.
Well, we went through like 8 monitors here at the office.
Right.
She kept putting whiteout on them. 636er here. Is Mike Carter going to take Schnooks to court over the popcorn?
We filed that night. That's what we were talking about the press release, but I don't know if we're going to get any traction with it.
DC, don't feel bad. This is from the 314. My first magazine as a young man was also a JCPenney catalog. Don't be ashamed and embarrassed. I normally am here, but not on that.
Yeah.
Not on. I have other things.
Did your grandma ever used to, for Christmas, let's say around Thanksgiving, you get together, she'd hand you the JCPenney catalog, and she'd let you circle the things you want for Christmas?
Oh, my Lord.
That's what mine would do. And I would just like circle the entire page, of course, but I remember that pretty clearly.
Also from the 314, hey, you guys, what you were talking about earlier made me think of the first scene in the movie, I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. Have any of you guys seen that movie?
I have not.
It is hysterical, particularly the scene in the hotel when he's got to go to the bathroom and he goes in and it's out of order. You ever been in that situation where you really got to go and then you go in and they got that thing like over the toilet seat out of order and you can't use it? Oh, my God, it's one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in a movie after that when he has to run through the lobby. But in that movie, the guys are doing a deaf chick.
Guys.
Oh.
And the neighbors call because they think someone is being murdered. Oh. Or that an animal is being slaughtered because of the sounds she was making. Well, that's what we were talking about earlier.
Do you guys feel extra comfortable making kind of fun of deaf people because they can't hear you?
Pretty much.
We're number one with the deaf.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Right.
Because we know they can't come after us. Yes.
Yes. This is equal opportunity around here, man. It doesn't matter.
I had one more that I wanted to mention. Do you have any helium for Mike Carter? That would be some funny shiznit.
That's awesome.
That's right. We can make it happen next week.
Where's the one, Stacey? Did you save the one? Some guy wrote in and said, "Oh, here it is." Okay, I'm sorry. 314.
I don't remember ever having this many texts before.
Even flow. Did you blow? Was absolutely brilliant.
My wife loved it.
Brilliant.
I mean, my wife leaned forward in her chair to listen to it. I mean, she really did like it.
And then they say, "Keep up the good work, DC." Well, thank you. Now, in fairness, Eric Johnson did play guitar, drums, bass. What else did you play on this?
Producer.
Racy Stacy was doing some background work.
Yeah, she was.
Well, I thought you were the voice, but you weren't.
No, the actual voice.
Linda.
I'm on vocals, whatever. And
sounds great.
And then I almost said Stacy's girlfriend, Linda. That's not true.
No.
It's Eric's girlfriend, Linda.
It's mine.
She's doing the backup.
It sounds just like Stacey, I think.
It does.
Yeah.
But the crowd seems to love the Did You Blow song.
And I'm heading to court, no fouling.
I'm sorry.
Feeling a little bit buzzed after having only 2 beers.
I like
Hello.
2 beers. Everybody says that.
Weaving all around the road, trying to stay between the lines.
Well, hello.
I'm seeing red and blue flashing lights in my rearview mirror.
The music sounds like you stole the track.
No, that's Eric.
Seems that I'm gonna lose my license for sure this time. My wife's gonna kill me.
You say my wife's gonna kill me?
Yes. She'll probably have to pay the bill.
Well, did you blow when the officer asked you to? Did you know that you can politely refuse?
At your own risk.
Maybe. At your own risk, yes.
Oh, did you go to our site and read the FAQs?
Oh, boy.
Did you blow?
In Jesus' name. In Jesus' name.
Stacey got
That
almost
sounds exactly like Stacey.
spiritual. You know? There it is. Did you blow with Eric playing multi-instruments? So you're multi...
I'm assuming some machine is taking up the slack on some instrument.
Was there a machine in use there, or was that all Eric Johnson?
Just drums. Just drums.
Yeah, okay.
So the drums were a machine, but bass and guitar was all you.
Yeah. You can't fake bass and guitar.
EJ.
You can't fake vocals.
My wife really liked it. Did I say that already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
See, we can do anything.
Oh.
We just need the idea. So plant an idea in our head, and we'll take it to the next level.
I think you don't even need the idea. I think you came up with the best idea already.
I think that was all DC one day.
We got Eric's girlfriend on the phone. What did you think of it? He's
I
not...
want to tell you that you guys are a bunch of freaking idiots.
No, Linda, settle down.
All right.
What's she all pissy about today?
Why?
Not everybody's not happy all the time. You know? We hear that all the time, by the way. He's
I
not...
want to tell you that you guys are a bunch of freaking idiots.
No. We know all that.
Is that a recording, I guess?
That's on Eric's voicemail.
That's Eric's ringtone.
Oh, okay.
Actually. Mike Carter. Call him. Did you blow? And $45bucks.com. The Carter Law Office is at 314-895-4040. 314-895-4040. And you come back.
And vote for him, too. Don't forget to vote.
Oh, wait. Yesterday, has it been decided now?
I got an opposition. Or an opponent. I got an opponent, right.
Very
I'm
good.
not going to tell you who it is.
Come on.
The number one cardinal rule of politics. I'll tell you off air. I don't want to advertise for
Can we get them in here on this on air and do a little mini debate?
Who knows?
I'm going to see him in about the next 20 minutes. I'll ask him, and I'm going to guess that he's going to say yes.
You're gonna whip his ass.
So let me ask you this: does he think he's going to win, or
we met for breakfast yesterday?
Yeah.
And
he knows.
He thinks he's got some decent backing and things, and he's got some ideas. We've known each other and had a couple court cases against one another.
See, you're the Green Bay Packers, and he's the Dallas Cowboys.
Right. Well,
good.
No,
yeah,
that's
that makes
wrong.
me feel better
That's
if that's right.
No, because they only got in on a bad call. You don't want to get in on a bad call, right? You want to get in.
You want to win, pretty convincingly if you can. I want to win like the Patriots did without the balls.
Oh, yeah,
or whatever.
right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You kiss my ass.
The Patriots I feel sorry for them slightly because they, even if they just win outright,
well,
they're just never going to be able to do until Belichick leaves.
Yeah.
He can't do anything right.
You got to feel bad for a guy like Tom Brady because he's got nothing going for him.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Looks.
Yeah.
Ugly ass wife. I mean, it's all that stuff. It's really,
I don't feel really bad for them. I'm just
Really
saying
sad.
they can't help themselves anymore. It's over.
Bless their hearts.
Kraft
It
should
is.
get rid of what's his butt, public relations wise.
That's going to be interesting to see if they get rid of Bill Belichick.
They won't.
They won't.
Ever?
Of course not.
You don't think?
What would it hurt?
No, because, DC's team, the Dallas Cowboys, they got into the playoffs on a bad call, and they kind of cheated a little bit.
I just thought
we
of
didn't
something.
get in on a bad call. We got in by winning 4 games in a row in December. That's
and
how
then-
you get into the playoffs.
And then somebody called that official, and then they got that pass interference thing thrown
let's
out.
just leave it at this, okay? You know those guys that are really smart? They did a movie about it, that Brad Pitt movie. I don't understand it, but I hear it's used a lot now. Most pro organizations, like the Cardinals, the Rams, they all have a guy hired that's a math genius. It's all about these math equations now in sports. Moneyball, I was trying to think of the name of it. And just, to me, this is the best thing. According to the mathematician guys that run those numbers and the win probability, in the Detroit game, when that bad call happened,
here we go.
Detroit's chance of winning went from 72% to 65% with the bad call.
Oh, wow.
A 7% drop. Not a lot. 72%
enough,
win
though.
probability to 65%. Still, the majority was in their favor. When the Cowboys call happened in the Packers game, their win probability went from 60% to 10.
Oh, wow.
A 50% drop.
Maybe they've got
Big
a calculus
difference.
for the timing of the game or something. But
Well, because there was a lot less time in the other game. So, they never even saw the field again.
Before you guys let me go, I just realized something. You've liked the Cowboys since you were presumably 8 years old?
Well, no, since I was born. I was born into it. My uncle played for him. We had to.
And I'm sure someone has brought this up before, does DC stand in some nuanced way for
Yes,
Dallas Cowboys?
It does.
Okay.
I don't tell
All right.
Or not so nuanced way.
Right.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah. No, when you are raised in a family where somebody plays for the team, you don't have a choice.
Yeah, I guess not. I guess you're right.
You got to root for him, right?
Right. I think,
Uncle Ed.
Anytime that happens, you're a little bit more close to it.
Uncle Roger Staubach.
See, you got a good team that you can see. I'd rather be in your position. You have a team that you can be excited about throughout the year, but you're never going to get through the playoffs because that's just not how the Cowboys are built.
We're never going to
always get beat in the playoffs. As a matter of fact, they got pretty far this year, I thought.
Did you guys talk about the kid who the Panthers owner wrote back to?
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty interesting.
The 8-9-year-old kid.
Right, he said, I need a team to root for. My team's leaving or something.
And he
the
wrote-
Panthers guy sent him a helmet signed.
He
and
wrote all 32 teams.
one wrote back.
Isn't that funny? The only one that responded was owner Jerry Richardson of the Carolina Panthers.
Cam Newton.
What did he tell him? I guess he told him,
We would be honored to have your fandom. Here's this. And
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And a handwritten letter. And,
gave him a bunch of stuff,
yeah, and then he-
T-shirts.
So damn cute.
I'm going to write a letter.
Stacy does that all the time.
Writes letters.
Writes our listeners all the time.
She writes prisoners.
I do. WriterPrisoner.com. So I got my latest death row inmate friend.
She's kind of turned on by that whole bad boy.
So you've adopted a death row inmate?
Justin is his name. Yeah.
Are you
Somebody's
kidding?
got to.
Is
He's
this
in
a
Denver.
joke?
No.
No, he called in.
collect.
Where was Eric?
You weren't here yet.
He was on death. He is on death row?
He is. He
My
murdered,
God.
He murdered
his girlfriend.
He murdered his girlfriend, and you're picking up that you're a pen pal with the guy.
First of all, he made it very clear when he called in that he's innocent. Okay,
right?
He is.
Wrongly
he was
accused.
framed.
Yes,
he was set up.
Okay,
so I mean, he didn't do it. Everybody in prison was set up. Right.
Right.
Does he have a date?
No.
A date?
How does that work?
It's a guy named
Bruce.
Bubba.
Bruce. Yeah.
So, Mike, how does that work?
4 cells down.
When you're on death row, do they give you a date immediately, and then you have to all the appeals processes, or how does that work?
You know, I would be lying just to sound smart that I knew. I presume everything is suspended immediately if you file the appeals, quickly enough and within the time frame. There's an interesting case right now at the federal level where they missed a date by 117 days. So I bet the guy had a date during that time, and then the Supreme Court overruled and said the lack of ability or timing by the attorneys, their fault, allows this guy now to still appeal. And I guess he's now got they call it a stay. They stay the execution. So your date is really, it's never there if it's filed, I think, if it's interrupted by the appeal properly.
Wow. So are you going to be emotionally attached to this guy whenever it comes down? And
No.
he goes to the...
No, we're just buddies.
But you think he's you think he's hot?
He's attractive.
Does he write back to you?
Yes.
So when the letters stop coming, you will know the deed is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you follow it? Like, do you know when he's going to be
No, because he's going through some appeals right now. Can't really discuss a lot of details on the case.
It's in the appeals process
Yes.
right now because he was set up. He didn't do it. It's amazing to me, though, that women really are attracted to these guys. I mean, these prisoners get a ton of letters in prison. And it's the ones that committed, really violent crimes. And I guess these women assume he won't do that to me.
Right.
Well,
He
he's locked
he
up.
picked me to write.
Well, but I mean, if they get out, some of these guys are going to get out. I mean,
Didn't somebody just marry Helter Skelter, Mr.
St. Louis
Manson? Charles Manson?
Yeah.
And it was a St. Louis girl, too.
Yeah, made St. Louis very proud.
Mm-hmm.
She's like 23.
And not bad
She wasn't
looking.
even alive when all this happened.
No.
She was very robotic in her press conference. It was like she had been programmed by Charles.
Could have been.
It's very strange. That's Mike Carter. He's our official attorney.
And I'm heading to O'Fallon to take care of some business. So thank you for having
You
me.
need to kick some ass over there.
Yeah.
O'Fallon.
Yeah, it should be. I don't think I'm going to have the opportunity, but it's going to be fun anyway. So
You're not going to have the opportunity. So you're not going head to head with somebody today?
I don't know. I'm begging. I'm going on bended knee to ask for forgiveness for a client for not doing what they should have done.
You think they're gonna? What do you think they're gonna do?
The judge there is very even-handed, the best maybe in the county to some extent. But
That's good to know.
He can, sometimes the even-handedness goes the other way, and I'm hoping today he sees and listens to what I have to say.
Are you and the other judges, are you guys buddies? Do you guys go out and have a beer afterwards?
Yeah, they're always hanging.
Seriously, no.
Laughing about, stupid people that come before him. Right?
I think the candid answer is no, and that I am younger than a lot of all the judges in the county. They
Yes,
probably
you
take
are.
offense to that, and so I'm not on the
Rightly so.
I'm moving very low political circles, so I don't.
I'm a little bit younger and better looking than most of the judges in this county.
I just think it'll be a while before I'm invited to many judge lunches. It just seems like.
If you've never seen Mike Carter, picture a young Jay Leno. That's what I see. I saw you on Channel 5, and I had to do a double take. I'm like, oh, my God, what is Jay Leno on? That's not Jay Leno.
He was cracking jokes about red light cameras. Had nothing better to do. And then I just drove right through.
Mike Carter. 314-895-4040. Lordy, give him a call for a DWI or routine traffic stops. They start at $45. 314-895-4040. All right, we love you. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
KFNS-FM, Troy, St. Charles, and the West Plains. This is the Hangover Morning Show. Powered by DWI.com